This week has been a little bit of a whirlwind. I got a text from my dad on Sunday that my mother had gone to the hospital with chest pain. I wasn't all that worried. She's historically the more healthy of my parents. But troponin was elevated. Heart catheterization was scheduled. Heart catheterization was moved up. Bypass surgery was scheduled. And I bought a ticket to Dallas. And then bypass surgery was moved up. I land when she's in the operating room and arrive to find my father sitting in the ICU waiting room, like so many husbands of so many patients I've seen in my work at the hospital. It was happening to me. I will say that I wasn't ever really worried that Mom was going to die. She made it to the hospital before much damage was done to her heart, and despite the broken medical system, I know how committed doctors, nurses, RTs, PTs, OTs, and all of the other staff are to patient care. And I was proven right. The medical care at Presbyterian Dallas was excellent. She made it through surgery. Her excellent surgeon came out and explained things well, simple terms, compassionate and assuring delivery. But walking into the ICU room and seeing my mother on a ventilator was a surreal moment. Eye-opening. A wake-up call, if you will. It was happening to me. It wasn't really happening to me. Mom and Dad were obviously the main characters here. I was a C storyline at best. But it was as though I woke up and found myself smack dab in the middle of the story that I have seen so many patients and families in. Mom had a little bit of a difficult time coming out of anesthesia, and she had to be way more awake on the ventilator than was comfortable for her. And she began to write us notes. I'm hot. Something is in my throat. An understatement. When will this come out? And then, am I going to die? That one really got me. Outside of the ICU, that's a complicated question to be answered with nuance and clarifying questions. In the ICU, when my mom is on the ventilator, the answer is no. Period. I told her that her heart function was back to normal and she just needed a little more time to wake up and breathe on her own. But internally, it got me thinking. She will die at some point. And even more, now, I had the realization that I will too. Mom and Dad have both had bypass surgery. My siblings and I texted a lot this week. Each of us, in our own way, is realizing that it's possible, maybe even likely, that the heart stuff is coming our way too. And each of us is coping in our own way. Sister has an EKG scheduled for next week. Brother, in his typical humorous way, texted, "Perfect. I'll continue living in a slightly constant fear, but doing nothing about it." What am I doing? I guess I'm making a podcast. Last week on the podcast, Kelly said, "You can sit on the couch and mourn for your disease, or you can get out and live it. Because none of us know when our time is up." Kelly's diagnosis was her invitation to look up from a busy life. An unwelcome invitation, I'm sure, but one that she could not ignore. No return to sender on an ALS diagnosis. So, Kelly graciously accepted the diagnosis and the invitation. And what I'm learning from working with people in crisis is that there is a way, an alchemy available to humans that allows us to take devastation and transform it into opportunity. Kelly was very honest about the difficulties that still arise. She still has bad days, dark days. But now, perhaps more than ever, her relationships are thriving and her life is full. Not busier, but still fuller. She's turned her attention to things that are most important. She's resting when needed. She's engaging in life-giving activities. She's paying attention to her own inner life and fueling her inner life with external things aligned with her values. Walking down the hallways of the hospital, I started to notice things in myself that I hadn't been paying attention to. Even though I face mortality on a daily basis, it's different when it's the mortality of a loved one or myself. What will I do as I reflect on the realization that someday my heart will likely cause me problems? Will I sit on my couch and mourn my diagnosis? Or will I accept it as an invitation? For me, this is not about traveling and eating once-in-a-lifetime meals, though I do intend to do some of that. For me, this is an internal invitation. Some would say a spiritual invitation. For me, this is about paying attention to old patterns that don't serve me anymore, being aware of my values and working hard to align my life with those values, recognizing where I'm resisting and where I'm grasping, and trying to ease up on that a little. It's dropping old ideas of who I am and becoming who I truly want to be, or maybe it's remembering who I already am. What is the invitation for you? We only get to do this life once. I can't say it any better than Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last, and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? This is Dying to Tell You.
Hi, this is Chris, the producer for Dying to Tell You, and in our reflections, we're going to start including messages that have been left on our voicemail by the way, which is a way for people to call and leave a message for loved ones who are no longer with us. So we're going to play one of those, and if you would like to call in and leave a message for someone who is no longer with us and you just want to say hi or share a thought or an anecdote or I saw that weird guy walking down the street that we used to see all the time, leave a message. You can call 720-600-7056. That's 720-600-7056 and leave a message for whoever you want.
Hey, Daddy. I just wanted to call and tell you how much I miss you. You died so long ago. And I wish I had been able to share my life in Colorado with you and hike mountains with you and go camp with you. And this weekend I'm about to go and spend some time in a new part of the state and wish I could share that with you. And I want to thank you for giving me an appreciation and love for the mountains and the beauty all around me. Gosh, I miss you. And I wish I had had more insight into all the gifts that you gave me before you died too soon. I love you.